After finishing the Easter egg on Paradox Junction, I can confidently say that it's not a terrible map, but it's not a good one either. In my opinion, it's better than the Tomb, but that's not really saying much. In my last Call of Duty Zombies video, I mentioned that I want more maps to feel like zombies rather than repurposed multiplayer spaces. With that in mind, I have mixed feelings about the aesthetic here. The destroyed version of Nuketown looks solid, it delivers on the zombies' atmosphere, especially with the skybox. The mushroom cloud is slightly goofy in concept, but visually, it's pretty impressive, and overall, they executed it pretty well. However, once you transition to the regular version of Nuketown, those positives start to fall apart. Boo! It looks and feels like a multiplayer map that has simply been dropped into zombies with minimal adjustment. The chalk drawings on the sidewalk and floors are a nice touch, but they are not enough to compensate for the lack of true zombies' identity. I understand that this version represents the past before the destruction, but even then it feels like it could have been done a lot better. As a result, the map feels very visually inconsistent. One half is immersive while the other breaks that immersion. Beyond aesthetics, story is one of the most important elements to determine whether a zombies map succeeds. Unfortunately, the narrative here is underwhelming. I understand the basic premise. The warden needs to keep the crew contained to prevent them from reclaiming their souls. That part works. The issue is everything surrounding it. The portrayal of the warden feels forced. Turning him into a slavery-driven antagonist does not add any meaningful depth. It feels like a shortcut to make players dislike him.
Where I come from, you steal a man's slaves, you pay the fucking price.
That was unnecessary. Players already viewed him as a villain because of his actions in previous maps and his connection to the Dark Aether. This additional characterization does not enhance his role, it weakens it by making it feel less nuanced and more one-dimensional. On top of that, the map replaces previously established characters with the twins. While their designs are visually strong and carry a depressing tone, they do not contribute much in terms of new information or development. The story ends up feeling like filler. Filler is sometimes unavoidable, sure, but it still needs to be engaging, and this was not. What is especially disappointing is the lack of direct interaction with the warden. Given that the crew is now trapped in a prison environment he controls, this was the perfect opportunity for more dialogue and character tension. Instead, most of the narrative is regulated to collectible lore documents, content that many players will either ignore or never find. This approach weakens the storyline and makes the experience feel less rewarding. The wonder weapon choice is another questionable decision. The Blundergat is a recognizable and visually appealing weapon, but it does not fit the map. Its inclusion feels disconnected from both the setting and the gameplay loop. While it has some narrative relevance due to its connection to freeing souls, that alone does not justify its presence. A different weapon, such as the Thundergun, would have aligned more naturally with the map's theme and setting. Looking at the bigger picture, Paradox Junction feels like a product of development constraints. Budget cuts, time pressure, and a lack of clear direction seems evident here. This has been a recurring issue across multiple recent Call of Duty titles, where the strongest maps appear early on, followed by the weaker mid-tier releases. Paradox Junction fits squarely into that pattern. It lacks a strong creative vision. That is not to say that developers do not care. The effort is visible in certain aspects, particularly the Easter egg. However, it does feel like another filler map that does little to push the story or gameplay forward in a meaningful way. Interestingly, the map might have been better received if it had been positioned differently. As a dedicated survival or side map released alongside a more fully realized main experience, it could have been excellent in that role. Instead, it comes across as a glorified survival map presented as a primary release. The Easter egg itself is the map's strongest feature. It is simple, accessible, and generally fun. Not every Easter egg needs to be overly complex, and this one strikes a good balance. One standout step involves playing Child Game, which adds a unique and humorous twist. Watching a teammate struggle to survive while completing something like hopscotch is both chaotic and entertaining. For casual play with friends, this map can be enjoyable. However, players who prefer more intricate, layered Easter eggs from Black Ops 4 will likely find this experience lacking. Overall, Paradox Junction feels like a missed opportunity. While it can be fun in short bursts and works well as a survival-focused map, it does not justify purchasing the game or subscribing to Game Pass solely to play it. There's still reason to be hopeful, especially with upcoming maps reportedly being made more original and featuring new wonder weapons. For now though, it is better to wait and see what comes next.